I know where that exit is. I
Mhm.
know I'm in this building that I go to school at. I know where to barricade myself. So,
Yep.
kind of having, and walk through, talk through is what we always talked about in the Army. You might not be able to
Mhm.
train it, but if you can walk through it and talk through it, then you have a plan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. On today's episode, I have John. He has served in the military, so first I want to thank you for your service. And then he was also a police officer and did a lot of cool things, in my opinion. So, John, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17 years old and spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, and then got out and thought I wanted to be a civilian, but that only lasted 30 days. And then I joined the Army, where I spent another 16 years in the infantry.
So, after that, what have you done in your career?
So in the Army wise, like I said, in the infantry, deployed to Iraq in 2003, deployed back to Iraq in 2005, and then went to Afghanistan in 2010. Each time just trying to do the best we can to keep our soldiers alive and to do the best for the people of Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you because, without guys like you, we wouldn't have the freedom that we have. So,
Well,
thank you.
Thank you, sir. And then from there, when I actually retired in 2020, or not 2020, 2012. So I retired and I went to work as a police officer in Colorado Springs. And my whole intent behind becoming law enforcement after serving in the military was taking those experiences and things that I learned in combat and being able to help other officers and help people and really rationalize situations to make it, even when people were in the worst situations in their life, to try and bring some compassion and some composure to the situation to make it better in the end.
Yep. So I know what you're doing now is incredible. So can you talk more about that?
Yeah. So now I work for the VA, but I also run a company called John Allison Security. And what we do is we write classes to help people promote safety, personal safety, college campus safety. Right now I have a free harassment class on there. There's a lot of things going on. I'm also working with a buddy of mine who runs a security company in California to bring AI enhanced security cameras to small businesses. Ultimately, my goal is to give people the skills and the abilities to keep themselves safe. Not to say that, you don't have the abilities already, because humanely we have the abilities to keep ourselves safe, but sometimes we just don't know the techniques, and we don't have that mindset, how to react when things start to go sideways.
Yep.
So
what are a few things that you teach?
One of the things that I always like to say to people is, like if you're being harassed, you've identified that you're being harassed. So how to take care of that, the steps to say, hey, stop, please don't contact me, and then you've already made that step, and what to do next, whether it's social media, contacting that platform and saying, hey, this is happening, or if it's, outside of social media and it's continuing, I need to contact the police and say, hey, this doesn't feel comfortable. This isn't right. I told this person to stop contacting me, and telling people that they need to have a trusted person, somebody that they can share that, hey, even in your darkest hours, that somebody that you can tell, hey, this happened to me. I did this, but this person's, holding it against me, to be able to keep yourself safe.
Yeah. I think that's very important, because like a lot of times, we tend to be scared to find help, and it's so important to get the help that you need before the situation gets worse.
Yes, absolutely. And if we're transparent, I mean, we've all made mistakes. That person who's your trusted person, that person you called 911 and they showed up to your house to help you. they made a mistake in their life. So we've all made mistakes. So if we treat people humanely and with respect and realize that people make mistakes and we support each other, then the world's a better place.
Yeah. And then do you teach what to do beyond getting, reaching out for help?
Yeah. So so one of the techniques that we always talk about is, especially like with my kids, like if you're on if like say one of my daughters or even my sons is on a date and, something's not right, it's not going right. They feel like they're in a bad spot, like I always tell them, hey, text me or mom, just we have an emoji, text an emoji and then we know to call you to give you a way out. Say, hey, there's a family emergency. Always having a plan to get out of the situation. And some of the other things we teach too is like if you're at a bar at a club, watch your drink. Don't leave your drink with anybody. Traveling. I always tell people like if you're gonna go to a new city, and you've never been there before, do some research. Look at the crime statistics. If you have medical things going on, look at where's the nearest hospital to where you're staying. What's the best route there? And I know that it sounds kind of corny, but all these simple things that, they sound simple when we're talking about it, but when the stress kicks in and you don't have a plan, then you don't know, your fingers aren't working, you're stressed out, you can't figure out the Google, you don't know where the hospital is, and just kind of, giving them proactive and reactive techniques to just about any situation you can think of.
Yeah, I think that's also very important. I travel a lot, and if I'm going somewhere alone, it's like, okay, who can I contact if I need something, an emergency situation? And so I always like wherever I go, I make sure that I know people in that city, and I tell them, hey, I'm coming in, just to let you know. So yeah, I think that's very important.
Yeah. Always having and if we have a plan, then it means we can have more fun.
Yep.
Because you're like, hey, I am safe, if, especially you're looking at like, the amount of, unfortunately active shooter situations we have in America, having a plan, talking through yourself, talking through the run, hide, fight. We've all heard it. We've all learned it. So if we talk through it and we have a plan, then when it does happen, our chances of surviving, have just increased because, hey, I know where that exit is. I know I'm in this building that I go to school at. I know where to barricade myself. So, kind of having, and walk through, talk through is what we always talked about in the Army. You might not be able to train it, but if you can walk through it and talk through it, then you have a plan.
Yep, I agree. And then do you also teach people how to defend themselves?
No, we haven't really gone into any self-defense.
Okay.
Maybe something we've considered doing in the future. But we haven't touched that yet.
Yep. Well, we all hope that we can resolve our issues before it gets to that. So what you're doing is amazing because that's what you're doing. You're helping people recognize like what to do before situations get to that point. So yeah, that's amazing.
And that's it too. So I believe that like, when you get like put in a stressful situation or a situation that's overwhelming to you. So in the Army, we would use an acronym called SILS: stop, look, listen, smell. And so you're stopping and you're stopping what you're doing real quick. You're looking at the situation around you. You're listening for cues of what's going on. You're smelling for changes. But while you're doing this, you thinking about this resets your mind. And and for me, it always brings my heart rate down, and kind of, okay, now I have something to focus on and, I can assess the situation and make a decision. So I'm stop, look, listen, smell.
That's awesome. And I know like for me, in, situations like that where I'm overwhelmed or I don't know what's going on, for me, like I also like to breathe, like pay attention to your breathing. Because a lot of times, like when we're in certain situations, we basically forget to breathe, and just like take some deep breaths, and then you'll be able to think a lot clearly about that situation, and then figure out what you should do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You got to breathe.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a little important, you might need oxygen.
You might. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
So yeah. All right, awesome. So my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to you?
So our abilities are infinite means to me that your abilities are always changing. So my abilities that I had at 5 are going to be different than at 15 or 20 or 25 because your life experiences enhance your abilities. So your abilities will continuously change. And I think too one of the biggest things I like to say is when somebody says, "Hey, can you do that?" and you say, "I can't." I don't say I can't. I said I can't right now because I don't have the training. And your abilities being infinite means that you can do anything you put your mind to with the right training. You might not be able to do it now, but I'm going to be able to do it someday.
I love that. And I love something that you said, don't say I can't. Just say I can't yet. And like, for me, what I do is I don't ever say I can't. Instead, I say, how can I? And then it kind of leaves the door open, and then I problem solve, and then I learn and figure out how to do things.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah. Amazing. How can people reach out to you and I work with you?
So I have a website, teamallisonsecurity.com. They can contact me on there. They can look at we have a free harassment class on there. So if you're ever like, hey, and with that class, it's got links to RAIN, which is an organization that helps with like domestic violence. And then there's links there to like if you're having issues with protection orders, but you can definitely contact us on teamallisonsecurity.com. We are here.
Awesome. Thank you. And then do you have any last words of wisdom that you would like to share?
I think my last words of wisdom would be confident in yourself. Be confident in yourself. Be aware of your surroundings. You have the right to be safe in everything you do, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
I love that. All right. Thank you so much. This was really great and very helpful.
All right, sir. Thank you, and I love your podcast.
Thank you. If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember, your abilities are infinite.